Hello Tubesters, it's Gav. Welcome back to another one of my videos. In this case, we're looking at Bandai's 1 in 144 scale uh, Imperial Attack Walker. Although I do believe when the New Republic took over from the Empire, they probably used a lot of these themselves, I believe. There's a lot of scope for this if you wanted to really change things up. And obviously you can make dioramas with them and things as well. So this is what I've got done from last time. I might have done a couple of little vids on the guns and that. I can't remember. I ended up scrapping them and just putting the last bits together to form the head and the neck. Apologise. I'm hoping this goes up as a better video. It wasn't until I loaded it up and watched it back I thought, it's gone on like a short format play. Whether it's because I did the original one with the phone turned up the lengthways, I don't know. I'm not very good with these type of things, so I apologise. It is rough and ready. It is just me at the bench. There's not much finesse on my videos, as most of my long-term subscribers will understand. This is what we've got done so far. As you can see, as I said before, I'm just catching up. I can't remember exactly what I said on the video, but there really wasn't any point in painting anything inside because that's all you can see. Now that is, if you remember last time, red styrene, clear, whatever you want to call it. And you can't even really see the redness on it either. I mean, it does tell you to spray it red, but I don't see the point in that either. If it's not going to show up as red styrene, it ain't going to show up as, if I put some clear red over it. So I'll probably leave it like that. Not for laziness, just for I just don't think it's going to add to anything. So if you skim the video before, you might not have heard me say, well, especially with the poor quality. When they made these as studio props, they went out and yes, they made sections with styrene sheet as you would do and tube and things like that. But then to make things interesting, they stuck a load of greeblies all over them. This is the Star Destroyers and the Mon Calamari cruisers, you name it, the Millennium Falcon. So you get things like this, and it's fun to point because they went down local model shops and just bought every type of model kit on the shelf, from ships, aircraft, armor, cars, you name it, just to add different shapes. And it's fun to see what parts of the models are what. I've looked at this, and I can't say I massively. I'm looking through my phone here. It might be a spring. Might actually be a spring, that one down in that little square bit. These, I wasn't sure if these were them being made by the studio. Are they fire extinguishers that have been put on and then put pipe on? Are they crank handles without obviously these bits, which could still be fire extinguishers? But that's what you're looking for. So as I show you pieces being made, just check them out because as I said on my last one, I've got some battleship turrets on there and you name it. It's they stuck everything on, including a jerry can, and it wasn't being used as a jerry can for this. It's just a shape they liked. So anyway, enough said. Let's crack on. This is the very first part of the leg I'm building. One of the movable joints, I presume. I just wanted to say, I think I've said it on the other videos. This is very soft plastic, not soft like it's butter, but it's very easy to sand. So one, don't go too over the top with the sander, and two, try and leave, as I've done there. This one's a bit more pronounced. They've got very small sprue gates, so I go back a bit further where possible. But I would suggest maybe leaving them on, and then obviously just being a bit lighter with your cutters to get in there, because it is quite soft. I don't think it'll be hard to over sand if that makes sense, but to say they're quite precise joints. So just a little heads up there. Right, Tubesters, I've put, as you can see, all the little ticks and dots and whatever there. I've put the first part of the leg together, gives you all the articulation. There's just one little bit, which is this D42. It's not a problem, it's just I'm doing this, there's loads of people that are obviously full-on modelers that just model and not a problem. But there might be the odd person that enjoys Star Wars, suddenly seen this video and thought, I'd like to build that, but I've never actually done any type of building before. So it's just really just to warn people off. Right, hang on, let's move that because it wants to focus on that. That's better, Gav. Right, this little piece here, which is, as I say, what is it, Gav? D42 on the leg A, and it's this little piece here. It does warn you on the thing. It says undergate, and it just means where the sprue is attached to the main frame, it goes very slightly under this like L shape. So just make sure you snip once you leave a piece of sprue off, on this, as in cut further away into the sprue, and then when you come to clean it up, just cut. I believe I'm going to get this just plastic off me thing. Just you need to cut a bit of sprue off that tab there, just to make it fit in. Also, make sure you're doing this piece fairly inboard on your desk because it is one of those little jumpy type pieces. It'll be in the carpet monster's mouth before you can blink. So yeah, that's it. Nothing onerous here. Let me just get this down. Come on, Gav. Right, so there's all different pieces of articulation. It really does all clip together really quite nicely. And as I say, this piece will go on top of here, which I'll show you in a later video segment. So I'll get back to this and I'll knock another video out as soon as we've got the next section done. Well, we have our first piece of articulation. They really are well designed. These kits are, well, I say kits. I've done the snow speeder, which Beetle also sent me. By the way, this was sent to me by good Mara Beetle. So thanks again, Mara. If you've only just come to the channel, Mara, when you see me and some of my other Maras, for want of a better word, drop that in conversation or in a comment. It just means mate. It's just how I say mate, and it's caught on, and so yeah. So if you hear the word Mara, it just means mate, friend, buddy, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, really nice articulation, not too sloppy, so things are all going to collapse on you, but very well engineered, even for someone like me to put together. I think what I'll do is, though, once I've put it into a particular position, that's when I'll say, right, I'll spray it in that position. Obviously, too much like this, you're probably going to wear your paint away. But it's a model, not a toy, isn't it? So you'll put it in whatever pose you want to, and I presume it'll stay in that pose. Here's the other side. Right, tubesters, we've got some of the lower part of which is the actual foot, for want of a better word. This is the end piece. Comes in a couple of pieces. There's a base, and then you clip these to it, push this on top, so everything's push fit again. And this, I've just finished doing a seam line on this, and then that sits on top. Yeah, there we go. And then it tells me somewhere on here, got to add another couple of bits, leg bits to cover that. Somewhere on there it goes together. I just wanted to show you, there's a seam, it'll be brilliant as you can see there, but there's a seam along there, and just looking at that, there's a blooming, right, it looks like I'm going to have to remove that mould line better there. I thought there was a cover for this, but there isn't. Anyway, there's a quite pronounced seam that runs along there and up under, this piece under there. Obviously, its counterpart on that side. So the way I got rid of it, I did try the white putty, but it wasn't holding in. I use super glue. Now sometimes I mix, as you can see here, talcum powder and super glue together to put a paste. But in this case, I just put a bead of super glue with my pin along the gap, and then sprinkle on the end of a scalpel. I just pour on some talcum powder. This any type of stuff will do. I just put this in a glass thing, and it dries fairly quickly. And yeah, I just get rid of the seam line to a degree. It's not perfect, I know that, but it's as good as it's going to get with me. I'll just have to check out this. I'm looking through a blurry camera at the moment because it wants to focus on the back there, but yeah, that looks like I'm going to have to get rid of that mould line there. But yeah, so I mean, it's up to you whether you live with the gap or not, but I just thought probably I could get it down to, at least on first glance, it doesn't look too bad when it's sat on top of there. But I'd just suggest doing it where it's like this, and there's a small gap up there that needs filling as well, this just here, before you plonk it on there, just to make it easier to sand really. So yeah, I just want to show you that. Just be aware that there is a small seam line there, a gap. I did try and push them together to push the glue up to, like, have that ridge that you can then sand back down, but it wasn't playing that way. So yeah, that came the CA glue, and I just used somebody recommended just using cheap stuff, and that's what I do. I use cheap super glue. I put it on the baking. Some people use candles, but I put it on baking sheet because the CA doesn't go off very quickly. Gives you a good lead time to use it without it flashing off. And then when you just screw it up and put it in the bin. All right, guys, I'll be back with the next one. Right, tubesters, we have a leg built. Although this part is open at the moment, and there's nothing on the instructions that tells me to put anything on. So take it something goes on later on, or it stays like that. I doubt it though. But yeah, fairly straightforward. I still managed to stuff it up in the sense of when you put this bottom leg together, you've got to make sure that this section here with the hole in that this goes into is on this side that matches with this pipe here, that where I suppose this would be a let's say a gas strut, but you know what I mean. It's the same type of thing, I reckon. Yeah, so of course Gav didn't. He should have just read the instructions, and I put it on the wrong side. But luckily, I managed to pull all these bits off, which was a bit annoying. And because it's not glued, obviously everything can slot back in. Just be a bit careful if you do make a mistake. The plastic, as I said, is quite soft. It's not like buttery softness, but it's, as you're pulling pieces off, like this piece as well, quite well compressed in. Don't just try and pull it away from the top there, because you will end up snapping that, I reckon. So make sure you get your a small screwdriver, or a mini screwdriver, or your scalpel, and just gently tweeze that up. That's only if you make the mistake that I did. But as I say, don't just try and pull it away, pare it away from the top, because it has a danger of snapping. So yeah, that's one of our legs. We have articulation somewhere along the line. Here we go. All that, and these move and stuff, so you can, very very posable. So obviously I'm not going to do the rest on the video because they are all the same, and as I say, I'll cross this bridge with this piece here when we come to it. I'm not going to go looking ahead at time. I'll just carry on building what it's telling me to do. It does say, please don't, like some modelers do, snip everything off and put them all in pre-basket, little tubs or whatever. It said just take them, remove them one at a time. Whether it's just for people like me who constantly make mistakes, I don't know, but just be aware that might happen. Right, 3 more to go. Right, Tubesters, we finally reached the end of getting 4 legs together. They weren't particularly complicated. I was just a bit consumed for time, if that's a word. There's lots of little panels to put on and things, and you just got to be careful with these ones. There will be another panel to be put on here, or 2, I'm not sure which. I did look on the instructions, so that will be covered up. So when you're handling these or putting them down, just be careful, because they're not massively strong. They fit on with some nice tabs, but for handling wise, they can fall off to the carpet monster, which these have done a couple of times. Which one was this? I don't see that one there yet. I did use some CA glue and talc to fill the first two in on this base here, because there's a gap, a seam line along the top, and it goes along underneath there. I've left it. I've not done it on the two, not through laziness, but it really wasn't. I mean, either I hadn't made a great fist of actually getting it ultra smooth, and I couldn't get it in places. And I thought, you know what, this is supposed to be just a straightforward build. Just build it, Gav. Let's not get deviating from the of the reason for it. So yeah, so that's what I've done. I've just left the other two as they are. I've tried to squeeze it together, put extra glue on. To get a bit of a cover up on the seam. This is just satin. Again, everything just clips into place really. These can move. Obviously, the legs can articulate, as you can see. So I don't want to do too much until that other one comes in, because I can see me losing these. I've lost it once already and had to go hunting around the floor for it. Nothing really challenging for anybody, even for someone like me. I would just say be very careful. I can't find them now, they're probably covered up. But there's a couple of small things to push into that will go to the carpet monster if you're not careful. They just hold in these joints in place, if for want of a better word, because this will move. I don't want to play around with it too much. And this little gubbins up here, make sure it sits in the right place. It needs to sit in as shown here. And also it will go ping off your tweezers. I use a wax pencil to lift it and put it in place, because the pressure of the tweezers will probably lose it. So there we are. I've just put the head there. You've seen that before. There will be some more lasers going on there, like guns going on either side, but that's one of the last things I suppose they wanted to break it. So the next stage will be building the body, which again it looks fairly straightforward on the instructions. So hopefully it will be. These just took a bit more time. I need to be doing some. I'm doing obviously painting and stuff as well at the same time, so I have to just fit it in when I can. So yeah, I hope that's been a benefit to somebody who's thinking about doing it, and getting one and putting it together. I will do a video section as I build the body next, but I'll get this up on my channel, and I'll go on over the next couple of days to build the body, and then really it's all putting it together and then painting it. So yeah, we're getting there. I'm glad these legs are out of the way, because as I say, I'd got two done and it was about like 4 or 5 days before I could get the other two. But we're there. So look after yourselves, and I suppose wait for the next update, which will be building the body. Cheers.